there's also that line that you don't want to cross, where you don't want to be something you're not.
Exactly.
And it's also about beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Oh, I agree.
So if you're trying to chase that, it's so elusive because, it's in the eye of the beholder.
I think, Carissa, bottom line is, if it ain't you, it's not for you.
Okay.
All right. Did I answer your question?
I think so.
Well, think about it during the replay tomorrow at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. All right. Carissa, thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that was an interesting conversation. Now, with that note, we're going to take a real quick break, and then later on, we're going to be talking about toys and a little bit more about breaking stereotypes. And meantime, this guy. It's bad, baby.
Kanya pag nag-pray kayo kay Lord, hindi kayo ng strength, babalik ni Lord yung inyong strength. Man mo na susabot. Ang ako laging asawa, pirlaman angan. Hala, Jose Benita, daw niyo, sunro.
Jokes lang, uy.
MX3 Balita.
Trisha Catera, Party List Representative.
Busy ako bilang party list representative, asawa, nanay, at kaya team. Open mo ang MX Pass. May naglalagayan at
Center at kasama po natin sa ating pong programa ngayon. Ngayon pong onda si spokesperson, Head Corporate Affairs ng PhilHealth, Delio Ascaron II. Good morning, Delio.
Yes, magandang umaga, best friend Alex. Deputy spokesperson po, saka head ng PhilHealth Action Center.
Kala ko spokesperson ka na.
Opo.
Di ba na, pinopromote na kita.
Salamat po.
Delio, nasa ka ba ngayon?
Kasalukuyan pong nasa Binyagan dahil may pinuntahan pong kaibigan na pabalik na ng Australia. Pininyagan po yung anak niya.
Okay, so akala ko kasi nasa, wala nga pala kayong pasok ngayon, no? Wala ka na sa cemetery, walang parang pumunta.
Another long weekend for us to enjoy. Maybe doing the laundry is part of your plans for the long break. Then please do check out Pride with Fabcon. Ang bango-bango talaga kasi ng Pride with Fabcon. Ayon sa research sa Metro Manila, halos 80% ng mga misis mas gusto ang bunga ng Pride with Fabcon dahil sa leading brand even after 24 hours. Kaya mga misis,
What they bought back then, it was cheaper actually. They bought full units.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was
I'm very-
affordable. It
I'm
wasn't
very
considered a luxury item.
Yes, I'm frustrated at the prices they have right now. But yeah, back then we grew up with Legos and its partner Technique.
Technique, yes,
So
correct,
Legos and
correct.
Technique. And my first toy was really a red bin of Legos, and I'm passing that on to my kids. They have Legos.
Wait, you still have?
I collect Legos. At
Oh
home,
my
we have
God, see?
a few sets on display and a few sets on storage. But yeah, that's my thing.
That's ridiculous. And you, James?
They're great anti-burglar devices too, especially if you're walking barefoot.
That's actually true.
Yeah,
That's
I
actually
agree.
true. You're not a parent if you've never stepped on Legos.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
the worst.
excruciating. You like
Yes.
stars. Probably my first, I don't know if it's my first memory, but what's springing to mind is definitely the RC cars.
Ooh.
You know, and you build them yourself, and then eventually drive them and stuff like that.
The frog.
The
Hot
front,
Shots.
mine was the hopper.
The hopper.
The hopper.
The grasshopper.
Sorry. I had the grasshopper, and the hornet was the first. The
my
hornet looked like the
goodness.
grasshopper. It was black and orange, and the grasshopper was green. And Yeah, Tamiya, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
correct,
and the
correct.
big Tamiya, not the small Tamiya.
Yes.
They have the
Okay.
RC
When you
cars.
say RC cars, okay, there's a difference. When you
Yes,
say
there's
RC
huge.
cars, RC stands for both radio controlled and remote controlled. The ones that James that you were actually into are radio controlled.
yeah.
That is not a cheap hobby.
No,
That
it
is
was
not a cheap toy.
And especially when mine went down the drain, in the storm drain.
No.
Yeah, it did. And so that was my earliest memory. That's why it's kind of an open wound still. That's going back 30 something years ago.
See, and my first recollection. Okay, my quick history lesson. No, quick history here. My father used to work in Saudi Arabia for construction, and one of the first toys that he bought me when he was there, which I still remember to this very day, is my yellow Tonka truck.
How did I guess that?
I don't know.
Construction, Tonka.
Put one and one together. So
Actually,
there
but you
go.
know, the Tonka toy, because that was also another memory of mine, was a Tonka for sure. And I remember recently test driving this FJ Cruiser, and it reminded me of that Tonka toy.
Right.
Because I actually I remember very clearly we were doing this in La Paz Sand Dunes or Hawaii.
Yes.
In Ilocos, and it just came flooding back, the memories, because as a kid my favorite toys were like the Tonka toys, and I would love playing in sandboxes. And here we were in this giant sandbox with a giant Tonka toy, because a yellow. Okay. Depends who you ask. Yes, LTO.
So there, that's okay. Now going back to stereotypes, I mean, women have always labeled men as basically boys who never outgrew their toys. I mean, when I say toys, it could be anything from their cars, from board games or video games for that matter. I mean, it's just, I don't know. But for me to explain myself as a man, to explain myself why I can't seem to detach myself from these things, is because it makes me happy. Generally, it makes me happy. It relaxes me. I sit at home. I can definitely be labeled as a professional bum if I have to, if I could. But I do love playing video games. I do love, collecting toys. I do love building toys for that matter. Just like as you said, Chappie, I mean, you are passing that to your children.
Yes.
And with my daughter, because my daughter's turning 21, but she loves toys as well. And she does collect toys, but it's mostly figures. And it's figures that I can't seem to relate to.
You mean dolls?
No, not even dolls. Dolls, she outgrew that. But believe it or not, my daughter is a collector/hoarder. Now, when I say hoarder, she does not throw anything away. Her toys from when she was still 5 years old, she still has it. It's in a big chest bubble. She keeps it there, and I asked her, why do you want to keep them? Why can't you just throw them away? Some of them are really raggedy and run down. And she's like, you never know the value of this when the time comes. And I was dumbfounded because just recently I found out that one of the going off topic, one of the most expensive collectible toys is actually an old Matchbox toy. No, Hot Wheels, I'm sorry. It was an old Hot Wheels prototype Volkswagen Kombi, the bus, with the surfboard sticking out.
Nice.
There was none produced, and it sold in auction for $70,000.
Oh my God!
For a small car. It was a prototype. Nobody else has that in the world, and it's insane. I mean, these are again, there are people who actually made a living out of this. I've met somebody when his parents passed away, and he received his mana. He actually gave up a desk job and decided, I'm gonna trade toys. They're from Transformers to, and he does not restrict himself to any toy. As long as it's a toy that he can get his hands on, he will buy it and he will display it. And he plays with it from time to time. And I asked him, why do you do that? And he said, I had an awesome childhood and I don't want that to go away. And it's the same thing as collecting, sabihin natin, collecting cars, collecting collecting sports memorabilia.
Yes.
That's a big industry.
Yeah,
Sports
I used to collect NBA cards actually.
And that's a big industry.
I used to, but I lost them. Sorry. But yeah, nowadays some of the cards I used to have, like rookie cards,
Right.
stars nowadays, it would really cost a lot.
James, did you ever play Super Trump cards?
I did. Yeah. The cars? Are you talking about the cars?
Cars, vehicles.
what do they call him? Super Trump or just Trump?
Super Trump.
Super Trump.
Iba si Trump.
Yeah. Iba talaga si Trump. We won't get political, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that game.
You know how much? Okay, here's a.
Those are expensive now?
You know how much the original new inbox packs of that cost now?
No.
Almost $500.
Wow.
Can you believe that? The original ones, I'm not talking about the reproduced ones. I'm talking about the original ones, the first editions that came out. They're close to $500, and these are things that people go crazy for. They go to different auctions. A friend of mine, no, not a friend, an acquaintance of mine, just went over to California now to attend a toy auction, and he's. I forgot what he does, but it's nothing illegal. But anyway, so there you have it. That's pretty much, how should I say, breaking stereotypes. Now, again, men get into collecting, get into the whole toy scene. And when I say toys, I'm talking in a general sense. We collect things because why did you collect what do you call this, sports cards before? Why did you get into that?
The NBA cards were really more of a peer pressure because I played basketball.
Okay.
And I watched the NBA, so I thought it'd be cool to own some sports memorabilia, and jerseys were too expensive, so I decided to do NBA cards. My parents bought me a whole box back in grade school, and I started there. But I never really had that. I would collect stuff, but I never would sustain it. So like the NBA cards eventually died off. Legos are really the ones that are still alive until now. Like I have
definitely
a few sets of the Simpsons, and I have the Yellow Submarine. I like collecting that because again I can share with my kids.
Right.
And then it's not, what you mentioned earlier, like women don't really understand it.
Exactly.
Again, I'm very fortunate to have a wife who understands it and actually shares the hobby with me.
There you go. There
That's
you go.
you get into it. So she's into Legos also. She builds her own sets, and we have a lot of fun with it.
And you, James, was there anything that you collect? Doesn't have to be toys, but was there anything that you collected when you were young?
No, collected. Not really. I wasn't really big on collecting stuff because we kind of moved house a lot.
Okay.
And we moved countries, we moved houses, and so I don't know, lugging things around, I never really got that attached to things. Then eventually when I got my own home, etc., I never got into the toys so much. I did get one or two RCs after, but then I never fulfilled that passion. And photography, got into that.
Photography.
That,
Photography.
Very expensive.
Right, but are you still into photography?
I am, but nowhere near the level of what I was before. So now I just keep a Micro Four Thirds camera around with a few lenses, and that's it. I don't upgrade anymore.
Expensive hobby.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
But I really, at one point, I got so into it. I mean, I was shooting already Formula One, so I was doing accredited for Formula One. So I was using
tech.
that was expensive. But the wonderful thing about Formula One is you could go to the track and they would lend you these big 400mm or 600mm lenses.
Right.
These are these are the price of a Volkswagen Beetle.
Exactly.
Just the lens.
Exactly. I mean, I was when I briefly got into photography as well, and when I saw, because I wanted to get into photography because I wanted to take pictures of the toys of myself and my friends' toys. When I saw the price and the cost of how to maintain this hobby, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to use my phone and use Photoshop or something.
Well, back
It's
then,
insane.
when I was into it, phones were just not.
Well,
They were not photography tools, but
Right.
And there's still a certain passion. I still have a passion for it. I just don't exercise it. But there's something about a still picture or still photograph. It's just something really I find amazing about it, because it's something that you're catching a fleeting moment of time that will never happen again.
I agree.
And if you can catch I used to love taking photos of cars and people, but moving cars mostly was my specialty. So action shots and people, expressions and stuff like that. And if you can because if you can nail an expression and you can capture a moment, that will never happen again. And if you can give the richest person in the world a photograph of themselves in a moment that will never happen again, that's priceless.
Yeah.
Look at how happy he was smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
He was lit up the whole time when he was explaining. So that is your toy.
It's one of them because I mean I also love cars, but
Right.
I'm very very lucky in the way that I was able to indulge my passion with cars by using someone else's account because I was writing about them, so I was being given the cars to test. So I didn't have to fork out for my hobby. I would actually be paid for it. So that was another way if you find yourself in an opportunity. There are two schools of thought about this. You could get into a job that actually will pay for your hobby, but there's also, you got to be careful that it doesn't ruin it for you, because
Exactly.
once you make it work,
It becomes a job.
it becomes a job, or it
Yeah.
can become a job. And it's
True.
very, consider yourself very lucky and blessed if you're able to do what you love and love what you do. Then you really, as they say, don't have to work a day in your life. But yes, sometimes there's certain hobbies that you wanna, some people just say, you know what, I'm not gonna turn this into work because this is too precious for me. So cars, I was able to enjoy that on somebody else's account because I just literally couldn't afford, I just couldn't. Even if I wanted to, I could not indulge in that passion without being involved in a car magazine or eventually a car TV show, etc.
Right. Okay, now Willie just vibered us. He sent over a picture of his motorcycle collection. That in itself also is another expensive hobby. I mean, that's
Very.
insane. That's insane. And it's kind of dangerous, Willie.
No, yes. I mean, well, yeah,
Well,
it depends.
If you're an educated driver, then yes, definitely.
There's a beautiful display in or a private collection in Batangas in Lemery. Have you ever heard of this place?
No.
It's the biggest BMW bike collection outside of Germany, supposedly.
It's in Batangas.
It's in Lemery. Because it's certainly worth going to if you love cars or bikes, especially bikes.
All
Only
right.
bikes.
When you mentioned about hobbies and how you're not supposed to turn it into a job, I think that's the whole point of a hobby.
Yeah, exactly,
It
you're right.
serves as a break
Yes.
from work, a break from
Correct.
the routine.
It
That's how
detaches you.
That's how I look into building Legos and back then playing video games. It was really like going from work zone to play zone. And if you would turn play zone into work zone, if you combine the two, then sometimes, you're right, James, it ruins it.
It can, yeah.
Exactly. Well, with that note, unfortunately we've run out of time already. Time flew by really fast. But anyway, before we hand over the reins to
Buo po sa management operation. Sa pagkaroon ng makasama po sa public service ni media. Again, kung may kasama naman po kayo sa ating pagkakilang Act Center 02-441-7442. Maraming salamat. Magandang tanghali po, Quezon Alex at sa lahat.
Okay, maraming salamat. Binabati ko rin yung kuya ko, Kuya Napkin Sai. Dyan sa may please ko. Happy listening, happy viewing. Ang ating pong gabay, bago tayo ng anak, Maya, sabi ko ng Panginoon, yung hindi lang tayo nag-wish, talagang tayo kumbaga sa panalangin, kapatid. Kung gusto mo masagot ang panalangin, punta yung team ng panalangin. Huwag yung basta parang pinriyado mo lang. Mas naniniwala ako na kung may pananampalataya ka, yung bang punong-puno ang iyong tiwala, sabi ay pag hinanap mo ang